Pat's peoples, your old pal Fitzy here with a little bit of a prologue, or in this case we'll call it a brologue, to the inaugural episode of the internet talk show / podcast to camera I'm doing with my pal Pat's Propaganda called Foxboro and Friends. We taped the inaugural episode post-Jacksonville nut punch, pre-acquisition of Josh Gordon. And obviously, the Pats getting their hands on one of the most talented wide receivers in all of football is pretty SFFN. Significant fucking Foxboro news. So I thought it merited a word of 47. Look, I understand Josh Gordon has had as much trouble staying on the field as Kanye West has had not saying batshit crazy things. But when I heard the Pats got Gordon, dude, my mushroom junk exploded through my Yeti pubes. I nearly passed out from the rush of blood from my head to my Brady boner. In a word, this could be huge. When healthy and active, Josh Gordon is superhero chiseled touchdown dynamite. If Josh Gordon even remotely pans out, he could be straight pass homie 2.0 for TFB. Honest to Gronk, Josh Gordon is the best big wide receiver and deep threat the Pats have had since Totally Mossum himself. Think about what he can do on his own. Think about how he can part the green sea of the middle of the field and open things up for a soon-to-be returning Edelmania. How Gronk is likely to see far less quintuple coverage. And how Dorsett and Patterson can continue to be Dorsett and Patterson. Dorsett and Patterson. Sounds like one of those Monday night lady cop shows on TNT, right? Anywho, sure, you could be one of those sports radio human rain clouds and say, this is too much of a risk. Guys, the Pats gave up a 5th rounder for him, and if Gordon doesn't play 10 games or more, they get a 7th rounder back. This is like when you buy something on Amazon and it sucks, so you have to return it and pay like $5 for shipping. Big fucking deal. And yeah, it's been so long since Josh Gordon played more than 8 games in a season. The Rock has made like 23 movies, but hey, new team, new dream. And I love that everyone laughed when I said Belichick was so pissed post-Super Bowl 52 that he was going to assemble a team of former Browns just to defeat the entire league, win another Super Bowl, and prove a fucking point. Well, who has the last laugh now? We're not sure, but we'll see, I guess. Oh, please, Josh Gordon, work out. Gordon, who has a giant 12 tattooed on his back, will reportedly wear number 10 for the Patriots. That's cool, considering that's how many touchdowns I expect him to score Sunday night in his debut in Detroit. Patricia, you should be sweating like the Pats O-line in Jacksonville last Sunday. All right, so the Flash, a commissioner the Pats fans can get behind, is on his way to Foxboro, and I can't fucking wait. Let's hope this is the touchdown stone Belichick needs to complete his Super Bowl 53 Infinity Gauntlet. Be sure to stay tuned to @FitzyGFY and Pat's Propaganda for tons of updates, content, finalysis, nonsense, and so much more. And now, without further ado, from Big Mouth O'Reilly here, I wish you as well, keep calm and Brady on, GFY, and now the debut of Foxboro and Friends. All right. Let's not be pigskin pussies about it. Pats Jags Part 2 was hardly an electric boogaloo. The offense, much like Cordero Patterson trying to catch a screen pass in the flat, fell on its ass.
An interesting choice by the defense to go back to the Super Bowl 52 game plan where you don't force them to punt or stop them from scoring points at any time.
Or do anything useful. There's all that and so much more coming up on the debut episode of Foxboro and Friends. Pat's pals, Foxboro friends, football geeks and gridiron freaks, how the hell are we doing today? It's your old pal Fitzy, alongside the minister of Pat's Propaganda, Mikey D, the Deuce. And this is the debut episode of Foxboro and Friends. A little bit of a different format from what we've been doing before with our full-blown Foxboro Finalysis show, Mike. But you know what? This feels very Wayne and Garth. Like, I'm actually having fun.
This is Nick's basement.
Yeah,
we're in Nick's basement right now.
We're in Fitz, so. we're in the Fit. Welcome to the Fitzatorium. Wow, and I think President Trump just weighed in. Shithole country.
A little bit different, but you know, hey, it's just going to be us talking Patriots, and you know, we appreciate all the support you guys gave us, and we just want to keep going and talking Pats and see what happens. So, I think the fans need us today, Nick. Right. That was a devastating loss yesterday. I think it's good we can all work it out together. You know, that
was Nut Punch City population Pats fans. Let's be completely honest. There was nothing about that that was fun, satisfying, or pleasant in the least bit. A couple other notes real quick as we move forward. We're grateful for everything that happened in the first season. We will be bringing this to you every other week. You have 1 week of NFL fan therapy. The week after that, you get some Foxboro Friends in the house. There could be some emergency episodes as well. You can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. And we're going to be available as a podcast. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is going to be the first ever Patriots podcast.
What is a podcast actually? Is that like on the radio?
Yeah, I don't know. Something like it's like radio on your phone.
It's amazing.
Oh my God! Can you imagine everybody just right now, just everyone who's just like has to tune in to sports radio, or everyone that's like dying for like the clickbait, the click takes, everyone that wants to eat a bag of clicks on Monday, just like everyone that's just feeling that fan rage. Like, I know I'm pissed about this game, but I need to get more pissed by letting people that I don't like the opinions of tell me how I feel on Monday. Like, good God.
I know. And it's like, we've been here before. Like, the Patriots always seem to have the September stinker, and it's always a good chance because it's early in the season. There's no real any great performance to truly glom onto right now. So you're like, oh my God, is this it? Did the Patriots suck now? Is it over? So that's why we're here, to kind of talk us all through it and kind of figure out where we're at here. Week 2, 2018. It's still going.
That's the incredible thing, is that literally half of our lifetimes have been this dynasty. Yes, but that, as a talking head, don't forget, you can't spell dynasty without die. Or at least something that somebody's probably telling you.
Nasty.
Somewhere between, Rob Parker's butthole and Kellerman's cliff. All right, let's do the Pats Jags recap, the untitled recap portion of the show, brought to you by our friends at ilovebostonsports.com. The best fan cave material, top merch, and everything for the consummate Boston sports fan. ilovebostonsports.com. Wear your emotions on your sleeve. All right, so game kicks off. Pats, first of all, it's 283,000 degrees out there. I saw a picture that Zolak tweeted out. It was like noon. It was noon o'clock in the dollar store city by the ocean that is Jacksonville, right? And the temp on the field or something was supposed to be like 120. The real field was like 120, which is absurd. I can't even imagine, I can't imagine mowing lawn. I can't imagine walking to my car. It's like Riyadh hot. It's Dubai hot out there. And now they're supposed to play football, so that's going to be a factor. Yeah. But then I saw that the Pats got to play in the whites, and the Jags elected to play in the stupid Jags. And I was just like, classic, falling right into Belichick's trap. Maroon just going right into the old Belichick web again.
Nope.
And the Pats elect to receive, right?
What's going on?
Right, this is they want to set the tone, they want to set the tempo, get out there, put some points on the board, treat the opening of the game like they would normally the last 2 minutes of the half. And the drive starts, and then where did it stall out? Where did that first drive shit the bed?
Oh God! Well, I mean, they should have. Was that the one where Gronk? They should have had the holding penalty on Gronk, or was that later? I mean, they moved the ball pretty well on the first drive, but it's just from there was a slow descent, and it was everything that you worried about with this Patriots offense, where it's like you lost Amendola, you don't have Edelman, you don't have Dion Lewis anymore, and that's what it looked like. You struggled to move the ball. There were no explosive plays. You couldn't get anything with Dorsett. I mean, last year against Jacksonville, you probably had your best game with Brandon Cooks. You had a lot of long passes. You had
they got a couple of PIs. Dorsett actually caught some because Brandon Cooks got some PIs.
Exactly. I mean, Dorsett's best catch. And so, I mean, that was how they kind of made it work last time. And they couldn't even get those plays. Plus, you're taking Amendola, who had, 2 touchdowns in that AFC Championship, clutch catches. So it looked...
Double-digit receptions, the third and 18.
I mean, the third and 18, crazy. So it looked like you worried it might be as bad as it might be.
Just get it all out. Get it all out. I'm just still letting it all out. I know what happened. The first drive, I think that's when they had the Gronk, the Gronk rules came into effect.
Pulled his shirt.
On a slant is just literally just and then it's just refs just didn't see nothing. New game, who dis?
Yeah.
And then they line up for the 51 or 52 yarder, and then I yelled out loud to everyone I was watching with. I was watching with
he's going
Kip
to
from
miss
the videos
this field goal?
and Jerry Thornton. I said, guys, mark it down. If he misses this, Jags put 7 on the board. And then Gostkowski proceeds to kick a ball that actually missed by more than the width of the friggin' goalpost. This isn't a hot take. This is a real deal Holyfield. I've met him in person. We look shockingly alike. And yeah, you know what? Maybe he'll have a great career touring as like the dude imitating the dude from Modern Family. They have a Gostkowski problem.
Yeah.
I think he's like my first Oldsmobile that my grandmother gave me. No clutch. I'm sorry.
Well, you know,
Mike, there's been way too many big games.
I'll stick with that analogy because I mean he is, but also your Oldsmobile, it's like generally reliable, and you know, like it gets you where you need to go. And are you going to trade it in and buy a whole new car that you're going to like have to put all this money into? And you know, so I hear what you're saying, like, but you have to live with these occasional misses now that are kind of like disconcerting. But it's never like enough to be like, we're done with Gostkowski. It's always like, all right, he had that miss, but then he hit a bunch, then he had another weird miss, you know.
He wasn't the Cleveland kicker. All right, he wasn't the Cleveland kicker.
All right,
where it's just like, guys, we can open the beer fridges. We can stop being Cleveland if you just make the friggin' extra point in New Orleans. Anyway, they missed that. I guarantee it's going to be 7. And then thus began an afternoon of Jacksonville just basically kind of like, you know, like in high, as an older brother would do, like when a younger brother wants to attack him and they like lean into him and you just put your hand on their head and they're just going, come on, come on, come on. I felt like the Pats yesterday were like the upstart younger brother who was just trying to get in there and were flailing about as Jacksonville dictated the tempo and the pace. Yeah. We live in a world where Blake Bortles roundly outplayed Tom Brady. They could do whatever they wanted in the middle of the field. I think you tweeted something about like if the Jacksonville's calling the perfect game, why wouldn't they exploit the middle of the field? The Pats, the center of the Pats defense is just like when a dog surrenders and just gives you that nice soft warm thing, and you're just like, no, you're supposed to be like, I want like a dog, and instead they're just like, and just like, oh man, put away your red rocket. I can see your little.
Yeah, it was so disappointing because they were so good in the week 1. I mean, the defense, it was just clicking on all cylinders. The front was getting after him with 4. You know, the linebackers looked good in coverage. The back end was doing their job. I mean, and it fell apart. And every problem that you saw on the defense was like, why am I reliving Super Bowl 52? Like, they can't get off the field. They cannot get off the field. Third down after third down, they just were getting beat. And then Trey Flowers gets hurt. Patrick Chung gets hurt. Yeah. I mean, those guys are critical guys to this defense. I mean, Patrick Chung especially, we've been so blessed since he came back that he's been healthy. He
Chung
gives them
2.0,
so much,
man.
I mean, he gives them everything. It's that 3 safety set. That's what their defense is now. And
he's like a linebacker that plays a safety position. When has New Coke ever been better than the original formula?
Exactly. Well, it was this time, and unfortunately, New Coke got a concussion and is going to be out for a little while.
When do you ever send something to Philadelphia and expect it to come back better?
I know, and apparently Patrick Chung.
I know, but like he got picked. I knew Safarian Jenkins. First of all, you knew Safarian Jenkins was going to score a touchdown because he still feels like he's owed a touchdown on the pylon play when Butler and Harmon ripped it away, and they did the Italian juggling motion. From the Jets one in 2017 with McCown. So you knew that was going to happen. Did I see Stephon Gilmore getting punked by Dante Moncrief in the end zone for a touchdown? Where Georgie Kipp, the whole thing, he said he was like, when did Stephon Gilmore decide? And he's been so much better than since when we rode his ass last year and
disclaimer.
Treated him as like, you know, like the bad news bear of the Patriots defense. Why did he have to pick yesterday to do his best Kyle Arrington imitation and not turn around?
You know, my funny thing about Gilmore is like I feel like he makes 3 great plays a game and 2 really bad plays a game. So he's always like comes out like just ahead. Like he had like, you know what I mean? He had like, he had to punch the ball out. You know, that was a great play. That was a heads up play. You know, he had a couple good plays in coverage. You're like, great. But then he's like, then he gets toasted for a touchdown. And you're like, you know, it's like those brain farts just, they are preventing him from getting to that like upper level. And I mean, look, he was one of the only guys making plays yesterday. I mean, across the defense, who else made a play? Like name a guy that was like, I mean, my best memory is, geez, Dietrich Weiss just broke his finger. Like that's the thing that sticks out to me, that they're like covering up his hand, walking off like he's, you know, about to get the claw from the Arrested Development.
And then in a shocking turn of events, Eric Rowe, much like Jim Nance and Elwood's toast and the Merrimack Valley, got burnt. So, too soon. Sorry, everybody.
Burnt and benched.
Like again, his hand came in just like on the touchdown pass to Keelan Cole, who OBJ'd OBJ with that incredible catch. Nothing you can do about that. Gloves. That was a 6. But again, you're just like, how was Bortles putting it there? You want to know why? Zero pressure. This much pressure.
Yeah.
Steampunk goggles, diving goggles. No pressure from the Pats yesterday.
Yeah, that was the biggest difference.
Whatsoever. And then so Rowe gets toasted, and it was just like with the Alshon Jeffrey catch when Foles went like 40 yards in the Super Bowl against him. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, he almost had it.
Yeah.
But you know, like if you when the ball lands and then you swipe at it, you could probably say like, I had it covered. But you didn't.
I know.
Because he got benched yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's always like the telling thing when you're like, I think he's playing bad. Like maybe everybody's playing bad, and then when somebody gets benched, then you know for sure that the coaches were like, you're playing like crap today. Bro. You got to get the hell out. But then, you know, it's like Jason.
Your Darius Butler imitation sucks.
Don't bring that up. But Jason McCourty led the team in tackles. I mean, that's not good. I mean, the good thing I will say, at least about the cornerbacks, though, is you've got Keon Cross and J.C. Jackson. You got two young corners, guys that you can go to. Whereas, like, on the offensive side of the ball, who are you going to right now? I mean, it's got to work with Hogan, Dorsett, and Patterson. You got nothing else right now. I mean, I'm fine signing Britt and bringing Matthews back, or those guys, whatever. But at least in the secondary, back? I don't know. There's talk that they're bringing them in to see if they're healthy.
Check in,
probably,
see how they are, because that's the system they know. So it's a little bit of devil.
So they've been around. I mean, you can't. I mean, you got three wide receivers, and I mean, the second they couldn't run the ball, and they're getting into all these third and longs, it just puts more pressure on your multiple wide receiver sets. It puts Brady in the shotgun. It puts pressure on James White, and it's like what's clear is that James White and Gronkowski cannot do it together.
They can't do everything.
These guys are going to have to be better. Hogan is like, oh, he's got 2 touchdowns. You're like, yeah, but where the hell was he when the game was in question? Like, he was invisible. Dorsett had a couple plays here and there, but I mean, just across the board, it's like one big, and I don't want to call him Sony meh shell, but I mean, like it's just one big meh. The whole thing was just like
meh shell. Wow, Mike's got jokes. I love it.
Meh shell. I thought of that myself.
Nice job.
I had help on it. Sorry, but
I like to. We came up. We wanted to. I want him to play well enough that we can roll with this nickname. I wanted to call him. My brother and I came up with the nickname Trinitron.
Trinitron,
like an old Sony, right? It should work. It should be sharp. It should be crystal clear.
That's a deep dive.
It is. Well, wow.
It's going to be all like, he was in HD today.
Right. his game, was it in focus? But like he drops his first chance to catch, and that's where Michelle is like Kamara 2.0, or like your version of Kamara, 80 cents on the Kamara dollar, if you will. Like that, if he can catch that pass in the flat there, he can get 20 yards. That makes a difference. There are so many little.
They left a lot of plays.
There was, but like Brady should have been over there. It's like. and then and by the way, awesome to see. Yeah, I love seeing McDaniels finally be the one to just rip everyone a new asshole.
Well, he's the highest paid offensive coordinator now. Like he's got a little mojo. He's he's counting.
There's head coach looks.
Yeah,
right.
He's like, I don't know. I'm getting paid. I'm gonna yell at you guys right now.
It's hashtag look like a coach season.
But you know what I took? You know what I took from that too, though, was that it just spoke to that. They weren't playing good. You know what I mean? It's not like he was like, shit, we suck. Like, we're never getting better. It's just, it was execution. And like you said, you had Bentley coming in on that sack on 3rd down, and he just ran right by him, you know? He had a lot of plays like that.
We didn't hear from him yesterday.
No, and we needed to.
Hightower looked like a big guy that was having trouble keeping up with Jacksonville's speed.
But they're attacking him. They're putting him in the middle of the field. That's not, everyone's like, oh, put Hightower in the middle, but drop him back into coverage is never what Hightower's done well. So, I mean, it just speaks to, this is the weakness we talked about all off-season was they need mobile linebackers. They need guys who can cover.
What do they call it? What is it, the green zone? Is that what they call that thing? Like, is that like and by the way, isn't it green zone? Isn't that where like you're not supposed to fight on the way back to base or something like that? Can we come up with something a little less triggering than the green zone? Wasn't that like a bad Matt Damon movie directed by like Born Identity guy? Yeah, something like that.
The lesser known.
But like that same area continued. Like how many times it's 3rd and 7. Like all right, I don't care if it's 24-13, it's 21-3. We know what Brady does. Gets one score, momentum builds. Everyone starts sitting on their hands. Buttholes start puckering. You got sweaty starfish swasses all over. Insert name of Bank Stadium in Jacksonville. Pats fans are going to make noise. And then every time it was just a little something. On the defensive side, it was. They let Blake Bortles boot for a first down several times.
Those are the worst.
Or some random dude who has made a living on your fantasy waiver wires is just crossing the middle of the field.
Just crushing everybody.
Or the Corey dude.
The Corey dude.
Whatever, 30.
Corey Grant.
Corey Grant. Yeah, whatever.
The Corey dude. He's the Corey dude.
I don't mean to disrespect the Corey dude. That fast Jackson. Speeds O'Reilly, whatever. And then on the offensive side of the ball, James White squeaking out a first down. Doug Marrone has the nuts to throw the flag. Takes it back a half yard. Tell me, in your house, as we did here in my fan cave, we screamed screamed out loud, like, you got to go for it here. It's 24-13. You got 8 minutes left. What are the odds you're gonna be able to stop them and then get 2 scores on your own? And what did they do? Punt. First play, D.D. Westbrook. Attack the middle. Peace. See ya.
It's funny. It's like, I feel like Belichick, obviously super competitive guy, but like he also has this mode where he's like, we just don't got it today. Like, and he kind of sometimes goes into that. Like, I mean, I saw it like against the Saints in 2009, where it was almost like, why are you conceding already? You never concede. And like, it was a little bit of a touch of that. I don't know exactly what it was. If they just, but I mean, let's be honest. They don't really have a short yardage back. I mean, Rex Burkhead, I don't know what the hell happened with him yesterday.
Can you imagine being like, I like if I wake up like with a little bit of a hangover, like I have a tough time making it through the rest of the week, and that's just when I have like 3 too many beers during a game. I didn't have an NFL graded concussion and then go play Jacksonville.
Yeah, in
I didn't go play
1,000-degree heat.
It wasn't like microwave bag of popcorn when it first gets opened, hot all over the football field with 1,400 pounds of orcs, not to mention all of
falling
these
on top of you.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's Grand Theft Auto villains and CrossFit machines being thrown at you from every angle, and they're supposed to protect, block, and Rex is running into the middle of that.
Yeah, Michelle too. I mean, there were a couple of times on those first Michelle carries where it was like, it looked like guys like Calais Campbell just falling on him like with all his weight. And I mean, it was like, whoa, this is quite the introduction to the NFL.
I mean,
I don't know about this NFL thing. I'm gonna have to go into
I played Alabama, but wow, that's heavy.
I know. That's when I was like,
that's
wow,
a lot of dude.
Wow, he's used to playing in this heat. Maybe he'll really shine.
That's what I thought. I was so psyched to see. I mean, he had 10 carries for 34 yards.
This is like
yards,
a dry
right?
heat to him. He's fine.
Oh,
no,
man.
I know. It was just blah. And I mean, I kept going back to like 2006 with Maroney when he like premiered, and it was like, and I was at the game against Buffalo, and I was like, whoa, this guy's got active legs. He had some big runs. Michelle, I was just kind of like...
that game against Cincinnati in like October 2006,
like at least he was
just
like, you saw something there. And I'm like, why is this guy first round pick? Like, I mean, like, it's supposed to be, I don't know, I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it.
It's going to pop.
Give him
it's going to happen.
That's fine. I'm giving him a chance. But, it's just, all the running backs feel like damaged goods now, a little bit. Like, you just don't have like, and I love Jeremy Hill. I thought he was going to be such a factor this year.
Friendly Football Fire took out Jeremy Hill.
Just for the season.
Devlin trying to tackle the guy that got the ball because Gronk got stripped at midfield.
You're putting the crime scene together for him,
Damn.
Here's the chalk line of Jeremy Hill's ACL.
It's as simple as this. We don't all need to fall down the Trent Dilfer wormhole of, let's just face it, the New England Patriots, they're not good anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's going to get played 10,000 times on TV and sports radio for this whole week, right? This is now, last year it was the first game against the Chiefs. It was the Chiefs a couple of years ago. There's always one 2012, it was the game where Gostkowski missed a late kick against the Cardinals. Exactly. So there's always going to be that one head-scratching bed shitter of a September loss for the Pats. Okay, so now it's out of the system. And for everyone who says, like, the defense doesn't look good, they had a whole offseason to address it. Brady's now 41. It's as simple as this. That wasn't Jacksonville's Super Bowl, per se, but they were that geeked up for it. That was circled. They were all going to give it their best effort. It was hot as fuck outside. And then when you play a team that good, you just can't make any mistakes. Yeah. So if it's falling down half an inch before the first down, dropping a screen pass, falling down on a sweep that could have easily gone in for 6, and then missing a field goal by the distance it is from friggin' Hanover to Marshfield, guess what? You're gonna lose to a premier team who's predicted to possibly go back to the AFC Championship. Yeah. Sean Spicer voice. Period.
Well, here's the question, though. It's like, how many perfect games does Jacksonville have left in them this season? Like, are they going to roll that out every week? No, they're not. If they played out of their minds. And we've seen that with Philadelphia. We've seen it, with the Jets in 2010. We always say, if you want to beat the Patriots, you need a 60-minute aggressive game. And that's exactly what they did. They came out throwing. Credit to them. They played perfectly. Yeah. Is that going to happen but you still look at how thin the margin is. And that was one thing I took away from this game, was just almost an appreciation more of 28-3 when you realize how many things have to go right to come back. And you could see it. It was like you had that momentum for a second. You were like,
don't forget at halftime it was 21-3 too. You started doing the mental math. You were like, all right, so someone's got to score a Ninkovich. Tevin Coleman's got to score a Ninkovich, and then
Photoshop, here I come. It was going to happen, but it's just, you realize what a fine line it is, and it's like anytime the Patriots put a game like this out there, I have like a little bit more of an appreciation for 18 years of amazing football that they put together, and they always have these down games, and many teams would blow it up and panic. They're just going to stay the course. You know, there's definitely some real questions.
I say we trade Brady right now.
Right.
Kyle Van Noy, he sucks. Yeah, who came up with the interception? Sure, he got beaten coverage and one time.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a suck it Felger right when he
Oh, I tweeted it. I tweeted it. I wish somebody had that sign in the stands. Oh my God! Right now, anyone watching this that has made it through so far, thank you so much for tuning into the debut episode of Foxboro and Friends with your old pal Fitz and Minister of Pat's Prop Mikey D. If anyone ever goes to a game and unfurls a sign, you know, like one of those little like old-timey fan style. If anyone goes to a game in Foxboro on the road and holds up a Suck It Felger sign, we're sending, pick a shirt from both of our stores, plus beers on us, and I'm good for it. Yeah. Like I said in Hard to Kill, and you can take that to the bank.
Yeah, I mean, Suck It Felger. What else needs to be said? I mean, you can only imagine, and I'd just like to say too, like,
that'd be the greatest thing.
If you're watching, all right, so they're probably watching this on Tuesday, but why are you guys watching? Why are you listening to these programs? Like everybody just listens and hate watches them and complains. The only way they're gonna go away is if you don't tune in and maybe you start to watch shows like this one where we just where it's fun, where it's entertainment, and we're not gonna like
hang out, have a beer in Fitzy's basement, talk some shop, get sweaty because we had to turn the AC off because it would make too much noise for the cameras.
Is your mom gonna call us for lunch soon?
Yeah. Hey Mom, the meatloaf. Yeah, that is the big takeaway from everything else, is that it has to be played perfectly. And when you play, you're not going to get out there and just exert your will and pants Jacksonville at home in a big game like this. Jacksonville at no point over the past 18 months, 2 seasons, has beat themselves. Yeah. Well, the Blake Bortles of old, he's Patino voice. He's not walking through that door. Okay, and here's another crazy stat. Heading into that game yesterday, I read this before the game and I was like, this is not good because they're going to do more of, I think, what the Pats are going to have trouble stopping. With Fournette, they're a little more predictable. With Bortles, 3 games, they averaged, last 3 games where there was no Fournette, they were 3-0 and averaged like 30 points a game. What did they do yesterday? 31 points, and they were offensively unpredictable.
Yeah, well, that Corey dude. Shot. I mean, so they played more into the Patriots. How the Patriots probably didn't want to play the game, which was trying to defend the pass and trying to defend small backs. And the Patriots were probably like, bring it, Fournette. We got Danny Shelton now. We got not even actually. I was going to say Adrian Claiborne. Not only playing him as a pass rusher right now. Right. We have Keonta Davis now. But that would have played into Hightower's game. I mean,
Keonta Davis, man, remember when everyone talked about him on draft day?
I know, right?
Said no one ever. I love all the gems that they find in the undrafted dudes in the 7th round surprises. But
they're giving him a chance. But but should we get some questions? Because we got to see how some of you guys. We asked for some questions on Twitter last night to see what the kind of feeling was, and so we can kind of rapid fire some of these. Nick,
sunshine and rainbows, baby.
Maybe getting rid of Malcolm Butler wasn't such a great idea.
How many times did you yell? Oh, Rose sucking. Put in Butler! Put in Butler!
Oh, no, not this year.
On Facebook, Troy Odivalis Obladias. Any reason why it was a punt on 4th and inches instead of going for the TB12 sneak at that point?
I know.
He'd already snuck one off. It was literally this much. And that's what Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Philly special, the Jacksonville special. They would have, not necessarily done a crazy play like that, but.
It's someone like Belichick. I mean, it's.
But that would have been like the 4th and 2.
They say a lot of things about me, but one thing they won't say is that I'm scared. And they're like, well, he kind of like, I don't know. He just, it didn't like it. But you know what?
But back to what you said earlier, like sometimes there are those games where it just sort of looks like he's resigned to the fact that they don't have it. Yeah. They're not going to go crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
you got to play field position.
It's like when your dad finishes his dinner first and he's really bored or he kind of wants to leave, so he just sits there at the table like this the whole time. Like,
do all that?
Belichick, why aren't you here? Why are you grumpy dad at the dinner table?
I got to go sit on the couch for a minute.
Yeah.
We'll do a couple more. Yeah. Well, it's week 2 slowdown. I mean, you got to love people who have the perspective that you would hope Patriots fans would have. Bill picks up the phone and finds Tom a legit wide receiver. I mean, I know that's the popular thing, but I mean, I just think the system and the way they develop wide receivers, like bringing those guys back, that's fine, but you're not going to bring Des Bryant in and what's his face from Cleveland, Josh Gordon, now it's amazing. Like, those guys are free agents for a reason.
Right, they are. And the whole, I call it like the Philip Dorsett project because, it took him like a full year to basically understand the system. And I get it. It seems like the whole idea is like one Buffalo's trash or one Cleveland's trash is another Belichick's treasure in Foxborough. But it takes these guys some time to get it together as well. Corey Coleman's not just going to come in, all of a sudden become Corey Coleman out of Baylor all over again and just light the place up, you know?
It's
the Jordan Matthews band tore his hamstring. Kenny Britt is made out of the reconstituted glass of Danny Amendola's groin and JD Drew's back. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just no one ever gives credit to like allowing guys time to develop. And I'm not the biggest Keontae Davis fan. Just I haven't really seen him do much, but they keep putting him out there. So it's like you kind of have to at least give a little bit of benefit of the doubt of giving guys some time to play and get better. You know, and no one, unless you acquire high-priced free agents, high-round draft picks, your team's still going to suck. You know, there's no chance for development. And I hate that kind of thing. But did the team have fun yesterday? I know that is a key success factor for 2018-19. Thank you, Jamie Roach. That's perfect. Because you know what? I'm going to be honest. I still had fun yesterday, even though I don't know about the team. They probably didn't have fun. But I kind of had like just fun to watch a good football game. And you're kind of like, whoa, somebody's going to beat us in September. Meh. No,
so you're that guy.
You haven't got there yet.
So
18 years
if you look at that's that guy right there. That's the guy who could actually turn.
I was like, didn't you think it was a nice moment when he ran out of the stadium? When he ran out of the stadium, I was like, oh, what a nice moment! Like that's so funny. He just flipped the ball.
No, the whole time I'm throwing hats, I'm spilling snacks, I'm cracking a beer 10 minutes way too early before it is. Here's actually a pretty fair take right here. This Brian Desmarais on Facebook. After that game, how can you have anything other than a hot take? Wow, I guess somebody found a way to beat the Patriots. They play in a place that's about 1,000 degrees in September. That game was theirs to be had. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you. Here we go. Oh, do you think in any way, shape, Stacey Lowe asked, do you believe that the offsides call that probably should have been called on the Jags on that punt, did that affect them? Sometimes Brady talked even like in his little hype video about sometimes his little like Facebook or IG video, I don't know what it was, but like sometimes one play gets made and it was highlights of 3rd and 18 that sucks the wind out of one team and throws momentum the other team's way, and it's inexplicable, but you can feel it. And maybe like all the Jags stood up and looked to the sideline like, all right, ref, go ahead. We own it. And then he just like, he swallowed his flag. And it's like,
he reached for it. He just couldn't. I guess that's the thing. When if you can't get it, then you don't call the penalty, I guess.
Well, then throw your hat. Take off your shirt. Run out in the field. Sit down. Pants yourself.
That was disconcerting just because it was like one of those like coaching things, and you saw Brandon King getting undressed because all he had to do was touch him or react, and then they have to call it. But nobody did, and so I guess they gave him the opportunity to get back onside.
Yeah. All right, so many more questions to get to, but it's all variations upon a similar theme. Why didn't they score more? How come Brady couldn't do this? Who put that guy in, et cetera, et cetera. I get it, but you know what? It is what it is. It was a tough game. That was a loss we all thought that they may have had. So, Pats lose to the Jags. I, like many, hope that there's a chance that they can rematch this one come AFC Championship time or in the playoffs, best out of 3. Second verse, hopefully it doesn't ever go much worse. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to Detroit. That leads us into our preview segment of the next week's game. We're on to blank. Blank is also how we're all feeling on the inside after that loss. This segment sponsored by our good friends at Castle Island Brewing, because I feel like someone shot me with a cannon and I needed beer for breakfast, much like a Patriots nation, after that terrible loss. Mike, why don't you kick it off?
Well, I mean, Matt Patricia, right? I mean, this is...
Thank God.
How funny...
What are we going to say? Thank God for Matt Patricia.
I know. I mean, it's funny. Everybody was like killing Matt Patricia in the last week because of how bad Detroit played. And then, the Patriots got Brian Flores now. Our defense is awesome. And then it looks exactly as bad as it did with Patricia. So it's interesting. I'm getting Patricia facing the Patriots. I mean, he obviously knows the defensive personnel of the Patriots very well. He knows everything the Patriots want to do offensively. So it's always fascinating when they kind of match up with these old guys who know how the Patriots want to play and potentially how to stop it. Now, can Matt Patricia execute that? It doesn't really seem like they've been able to execute a whole lot in the first couple of weeks. But, I think really for me, the headline is just Patriots get back to fundamentals, play football, tackle, get off blocks, make plays. And if they do that, I think they'll be okay. But I don't envy the Lions having to face this Patriots team, and they get to play in a dome, so it might be a little climate control, a little bit better.
Right. I have no idea. Somebody asked me yesterday, like, hey, Fitz, how come the Patriots can't play in Florida? They have a horrible time playing in Florida, like whether it is in Jacksonville. I mean, the Pats had been 8-0 against Jacksonville up to that point in their previous 8, now 8-1.
Florida sucks.
It does. Florida in September, let's just be honest, Florida in September, Sucks. Florida in September is definitely the equivalent of like running to catch the bus in the heat and having it pull away the doors close just as you get there, and you're just left with a face full of like heat, fumes, and shit. All right, I want to play the part of like talk radio caller.
Okay.
All right, hey, we go to our next caller, Fitzy in the basement. You're up. Yeah, hi Mike. First time, long time. So how come it is you think that the Patriots defense with the new coordinator has a lot of the same problems that they used to have, even though they switched coordinators and now they're playing the guy that they blame for all those problems? Thanks. Big fan. I'll hang up and listen to your thoughts.
All the players suck. They didn't get good players. They've never had good players. Well, I mean, it's just...
when it does look similar to what we said or what we thought they were going to get rid of.
It's just bad football defense. It's not really a scheme thing. It's just like when you aren't tackling, when you aren't getting off blocks, when you're not setting the edge, when you're getting lost in coverage and you're miscommunicating, it's always going to look bad the same way it does. And so the question is, is this an early season speed bump, or is this the Super Bowl when everything's on the line? They've got to play better, and that's just simple it is. They're better than they played yesterday, and no one's going to argue that they're not better. But there's not going to be the big acquisition to make the difference or anything like that. You just got to win with what you got.
Right. No, there's no savior going to no one. There's no Thor that's just going to drop from the sky.
Yeah.
They would seem to have it there. Like there were guys doing things yesterday that were just like, oh my God, no one taught you that. I refuse to believe anyone taught you that. For example, when McCourty came in to Jason McCourty. The other McCourty, a new special on the NFL Network. So Jason comes in, and he's playing corner safety, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And it's it's like the last important Bortles scramble. So he's coming Jason McCourty's way. He's well past the line of scrimmage. Now I'm thinking Jason McCourty's football instincts are going to kick in, and he's going to break off his man and go tackle Bortles. So I was like actually kind of heartened, like, oh, he's going to make the tackle. We're going to get the ball back. And then he ran off to cover his man. I was like, dude, what the hell are you thinking? Like, come off the guy, make the tackle. Listen, I have, the only tackle in my life sits in a box outside and gets broken out over the Bass River Bridge like 3 times a year whenever I want to just like leisure fish or use it as an excuse to just like say I'm actually going fishing when I just want to have a Miller High Life at 7 in the morning. Come on. I have no business criticizing another professional athlete, but at the same time, like, do your job.
Yeah. Well, you would think secret twin language would have like come into play somehow and like, and he would have gone. But
do they have a safety? Is the safeties, have they lost a step a little bit?
Okay, so that's a good thing I think we can kind of consider. I mean, not that we're negative Nellies, but I mean, are Chung, Devin McCourty, are those guys getting old now? Are they, I don't know. They got to play better. I mean, they certainly started last season like shit.
Right.
So that's
and then came around, but they look gassed by the Super Bowl.
It's something to think about. I mean, they've leaned on those guys for the good chunk of this second run of the dynasty.
For sure. So McCourty, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, this is his 9th year in the league.
Yeah,
so by the age of 30, right. And Harmon's got, I think he's like 27,
something
28.
To watch. I mean, Harmon was getting lit up yesterday too. So, I mean, Chung being out, the trickle-down effect hurt. Right. But they got to, look, it's just, got to play better. Got to play better. Then it's stupid because nobody like puts any stock in that. It's just like, well, you got to get better. It's like, it's a bad game. They played bad. They got to play better.
Yeah. Whenever recapping a loss, make sure you bring at least more than one beer to the podcast as well. I'm just about out, and I could use some more. All right. So here's another question before final thoughts on the Detroit game. So you have what you have. I know, like, we don't really know our football team. Full Belichick speak like great post-game press conference yesterday too. Yeah. I could have bet $100 I was going to hear like, not enough coaching, not enough this, not enough that. They actually just could have put like the Belichick hologram from like the Monday night loss.
They didn't coach well enough. They didn't play well enough.
Why didn't you even send him up to the podium? Why don't they actually just have like a hologram of him? At least
just
Brady
to see what he's wearing
different.
For me. That's my thing.
I know. Well, I know, no awesome hat, no shirt down, and no crazy hat.
Can I just throw something out there? I mean, maybe all the problems were just that Brady wore that new helmet yesterday after wearing the old one in warm-ups.
That's right.
And then he went back to the new thing.
I thought he wasn't going to do that. I thought when I saw the old helmet during warm-ups, there was no chance we were going to see the new helmet.
No, he went back to it. And I mean, and he said to Reese's Pieces on Sunday, they posted, he was like, I'm still feeling it out. He didn't know yet. It said it's very tight. So something to watch for.
Does it breathe? Do you think the helmet breathes a little better?
Just squeezing his head too much, I guess. He wasn't able to.
I can't believe we're spending all this time talking about Tom Brady's helmet. My God,
that's why we do the show.
Exactly.
Where else? Are Felger and Matt's going to talk about Tom Brady's helmets?
Right.
No.
Yeah, exactly. You can do, Mike, of course, does the Belichick hoodie database, and now he's starting Brady Helmet Watch, which is another very exciting feature of Pat's propaganda.
Yeah,
okay, so who is going to be the guy or the guys that are going to like step up from the defense to shore up these issues? Just pick
That's
one.
a great question. I mean, I think Juwan Bentley's a guy that it kind of has to be because he's in the middle of it, and I feel like all the offensive improvement is going to come primarily because he can run and he can do things that Landon Roberts can't really do. It's still going to be a rotation. There's still early season mode where they're rotating guys, and you still don't really know who the core group is going to be. But I'm curious to see Derek Rivers. I think he deserves a shot. But I know he's down on the depth chart. But I mean, if Trey Flowers is out, if Dietrich Wise is out, you're probably going to get a heavy dose of Derek Rivers. So that's just what I'm looking for.
Quite a lot of pressures in the preseason, but then like he's just like,
give him a chance. You know, I mean, that's why I'm picking him as like, well, who's going to come out of the rut? I mean, obviously you get Trey Flowers back. I think he makes a world of difference. But you know, it's building the pass rush depth that they need badly. And you know, guys were gassed yesterday. I mean, Adrian Claiborne, he had 2 quarterback hits. Those are the only stats he recorded. So they need more out of those guys. Everybody's got to play better, and you would expect the leaders to step up. But I'm curious to see some of these younger guys, Jackson, Cross, and Rivers, kind of step up. Maybe these guys can help contribute and change the defense a little bit.
Or maybe Tom Brady's just going to have to put it on his aging, handsome, beautiful, and probably furious shoulders next week, and he's going to have to get it done. My thoughts on the Detroit game, it's as simple as this. Like you said, Matt Patricia, he knows how Belichick coaches. He was inside there. I mean, he's got the keys. He's got the blueprints. He knows the password to the Wi-Fi. He knows where to keep the spare key. I get all that jazz. But at the same time, I don't think just the same way that the Pats didn't have the talent and didn't have the proper preparation, which is the surprising element of things, to defeat Jacksonville when they were going to spread them out and attack that weak spot over the middle in the freaking, you know, Bermuda Triangle heat yesterday. Yeah. Okay, fine. That was what it was. But I don't think Detroit has the talent. They got 3 good wide receivers.
Yeah.
And the backs, I know one of them's relatively familiar. He's probably looking forward to applying yet some more blunt force trauma to the Pats. I don't think Detroit has the talent. I just don't think they've got enough talent to do it. And then that defense is thoroughly inadequate. They've allowed 39 points on average per game through the first 2. Jimmy G lit them up. Good Lord. Yeah. The Jets smoked them on that Monday night embarrasser. So look for the Patriots. I'm going to give you a performance. Since people are comping the wide receiver issues this year to like 2006, 2013, I don't think it's that bad. Good Lord. Doug Gabriel, please never return my phone call. In 2006, they lost a game, and then they had a Monday nighter against the Vikings.
Yeah.
So another
and all of a sudden it was bombs away.
And then Brady just came out and just lit them up, and everyone was uncoverable. I'm looking for a similar type performance. Sony Michel calling it right now. First professional touchdown scored next week. Huge game. Props to the Jags. They covered the Gronk. Jalen Ramsey, go F yourself. And yeah, it's out of the system. I feel a little bit better.
A little bit better, yeah. I mean, McDaniels got Belichick once when he was with Denver. Mangini got him, you know, with Cleveland. Remember that one?
Yep.
So I just don't know. I think the X factor isn't even the talent of Detroit. Is Detroit buying in? And how does Detroit feel now that the Patriots, coming off a brutal loss, are going to come in? And if they don't like Matt Patricia, and now they got to like face the Patriots, I think it could unravel very quickly for them as a team, where they just start taking stupid penalties and give up. That's kind of my X factor game unfolding. So I think we're just going to get a tight Patriots team that's focused and ready to go and get back on track.
Right, because I know it's easy to make jokes about Detroit. At the same time, I feel like Detroit, if Detroit's already scary enough, it's literally going to look like a Grand Theft Auto city if the Patriots come in there and score 45 points, and the Lions, under this new defensive genius who's supposed to bring the Patriots cologne to the Motor City, gets lit up in a primetime Sunday night game. It's Sunday night football, which is awesome, because then that way I get the whole day to fanticipate it, as opposed to possibly having a 1 o'clock loss sucks. A 4 o'clock loss isn't quite as bad, because I can enjoy a good portion of the day and you can look forward to it. The 8 o'clock game is perfect. The kids are in bed. The beer is on ice. You've had all day to figure out what you want to order and what you want to eat. And I am super freaking pumped and jacked like a shirtless Pete Carroll for the game next Sunday night. Part of me thinks there's 2 different ways Detroit goes. One, yes, they either they got to save the season, so they're going to give it the best effort they possibly can, or they friggin' hate Patricia the same way we hated, and he wasn't that bad a defensive coordinator, but the same way we hated the Super Bowl 52 defensive effort, and they're going to be like, you know what?
Let's embarrass him in front of his own team.
Let's get this easiest way to get this motherfucker out of here. Let's lose by 50.
Yeah.
Let's all get a selfie with Tom Brady.
Yeah, right. And then they just put Patricia on the Patriots game. It's like special assistant to the coach. Now, like fired and hired on the plane ride back, and we're all done.
They're already getting the Oscars in memoriam of Matt Patricia's coaching career video together.
Just take them back with you.
Yeah, honestly, Matt Patricia's coaching career so far in Detroit is the coaching equivalent of like the sad injury timeout music on Fox NFL Sunday. Yeah. And I hope it only gets worse next week. All right, I feel better.
Yeah, I feel better because we did a show.
Yeah, we did. We're back.
Right. We're back. We talked.
All right, so here's the drill. Like we said before, you're gonna get Foxboro and Friends once every other week. This is the first one we put together. Looking forward to so much more. We're gonna have a Patreon probably rolling out sometime soon. If you guys maybe are able to kick in a couple shekels, maybe throw us a couple bucks, a little beer money, we'll be able to improve the basement quality. But until then, Wayne and Gaff are going to be over here just keeping it real as often as possible. Check patspropaganda.com on the regular for Mike's insights, breakdowns, the hoodie database, helmet watch.
Oh, all of it. Just, I'm starting the Adrian Claiborne jockstrap watch, which is another, I'll get into that next week.
Jock watch. And on Townie News and the Fitzy channels, we'll have NFL Fan Therapy every other week. Today in Patriots Daily on @FitzyGFY Instagram. Wicked Piss a webcast every now and again. And look for some instant Foxboro Finalysis, some live post-game shows, including, and I hope you guys, I know Mike, you'll be there, Sunday, September 30th, after the Dolphins game, we'll be setting up an actual live post-game tailgate talk show right there outside the stadium by the Rodman Ford lot. So don't miss it.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
No. Thanks for tuning in, and it's exciting. And we're off on a season. We're off on a new show, and it's all very exciting. So even despite the loss, I feel good.
Do your job.
Do your job.
Ignore the noise.
Ignore your noise.
LFG.
Here's all of it. Right down the line.
All right, we're done. All right. Thanks, guys.